All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, a blockbuster trade went down on Saturday now as the Detroit Lions and Los Angeles Rams made a quarterback swap. Matthew Stafford is now a member of the Rams, while Jared Goff is now with the Lions. Aside from getting Goff, the Lions will also get a couple of first-round picks from the Rams, one in 2022 and one in 2023, as well as Los Angeles' third-round pick this year. Now, you look inside of this trade, Stafford does have an injury history, and we talk about most notably the back tailbone fracture that he suffered in 2019. It limited him to just 8 games. Overall, Stafford is one of the better quarterbacks in Lions franchise history. I'm not going to call him the best. Stat-wise, of course, he will, people will look at him and say that he is the best. 74, 90, and 1 in the regular season as a starter, and he's 0-3 in the playoffs. And of course, 0-3 in the playoffs with the Lions is a little bit different because you have to go back to the mid-1950s to find the last time that the Lions, were a real successful franchise. And since that instance, they've only won one postseason game. For me, I look at the Rams and they simply gave up on Goff. And, honestly, the Rams have nobody to blame for this but themselves. You look at Jared Goff, he is 42-27 as a starter in the NFL. He did help them reach the Super Bowl several years ago. But, you look back to 2019 when the Rams gave Goff that huge extension. He was not worthy of that extension, and honestly, the Rams quickly regretted it. Rams head coach Sean McVay basically does not believe in Jared Goff, and that's what this came down to. We saw like a fractured relationship between the two of them throughout the course of this season, and you know what? They just looked at this as an opportunity to get from under Jared Goff and, have a quick divorce and try to get things right with the veteran quarterback in Matt Stafford. Now, the thing you have to ask yourself, will the Rams be able to win with Matt Stafford? You look at Stafford, he is a veteran quarterback. I think the biggest thing for him, he's got to be able to play within the realm of the offense. 282 career touchdown passes, but he also has 144 interceptions. For me, it's one of those where, you got to put the team around Matt Stafford. They do have talent at the wide receiver position. They do have the ability to run the football. And I think with a veteran quarterback like Stafford, he's not as mobile as Jared Goff is. I think it's important for the Rams to address their offensive line in this offseason and make sure that you solidify that unit as much as possible in order to protect a veteran signal caller such as Matthew Stafford. You look at it and you're going to ask yourself, how will Jared Goff fit in with the Lions? And for me, this is a tough one because you look at Jared Goff. Yes, he's a starting quarterback in the NFL. Yes, he's been to a couple of Pro Bowls. But Jared Goff is not in that category of quarterback where he is able to elevate the people around him. And you look at the Lions need a quarterback who's going to be able to elevate the people around him. And he will not have the talent around him, at least initially in Detroit, that he is leaving in Los Angeles. So I think this could be a huge struggle early on for Goff with the Honolulu Blue and Silver. I look at it like this. The Lions do have the picks, but the picks are only good if you know what you're doing with them. And historically, the Lions have not been a very good team when it comes to drafting. Of course, they have a new head coach, a new general manager, and they're basically starting over from scratch. And for me, I look at Jared Goff. He did have some success with the Rams, but you go back to his rookie season with the Rams where he was 0-7. This has the makings of potentially being that for him going to Detroit with this club. You look at this trade and you ask yourself who wins this trade or who won this trade. I'll put it like this. The Rams won this trade short term while the Lions possibly have the ability to win the long-term deal. And I think the possibly part comes in for the Lions only if they can figure out what they have to do draft wise. Because Jared Goff needs a quality team around him. You have your new franchise quarterback going forward if you're Detroit, but it really won't mean a thing if you don't put the pieces around him. Just look at Matt Stafford. This is a guy that, set so many passing records for this franchise. He threw for more than 5,000 yards in 2011 as he helped the Lions reach the playoffs. He also threw 663 passes that year. But it's a situation, the Lions have never really consistently been able to put a quality team around Matt Stafford. So a lot of his numbers, they're empty calories. Because, he's putting up big numbers, but you know what? They don't equate the wins. This time around, he does have a better team around him. So like I said, for the short term, I definitely will give it to the Rams. Long term, the Lions, they got to get their act together. We've been saying that for decades now. So the Rams short term, Lions possibly long term. This was a deal right here that you see it. The Rams, they were just desperate to cut bait, and you could see that. I don't feel sorry for the Rams in regards to the Jared Goff contract. They gave it to him just like it was when they gave the big deal to Todd Gurley, and they quickly regretted that as well. So you look at this deal, it came out of left field. I knew that the Lions were definitely actively shopping Matthew Stafford. They did say they had 7 or 8 teams who were interested in the services of Stafford. I'm surprised they got back as much as they did. You really don't see starting quarterbacks swapped that often in the NFL. One recent one that I can think of, you got to go back more than 40 years ago, where the Houston Oilers and Oakland Raiders swapped Dan Pastorini for Ken Stabler. It really doesn't happen that often. I'm shocked that it happened. I'm shocked that it went down so quick after the Lions were ready to move on from Matt Stafford. It was a mutual thing. But you know what? He gets a fresh start in L.A. Jared Goff is going to get a fresh start in Detroit. So we'll just have to sit back and wait to see what happens in this one. And let's see how both teams can build around their new franchise signal callers. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast. I want to take this time out to thank all of you out there for subscribing to this channel. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to the channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. Take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.